The virtue of fortitude can help you overcome some of life's greatest challenges. Are you practicing it? I'm Deacon Ken, and welcome to The Divine Life. I'd like to tell you a story today about a man named Louis Zamperini. He was an Olympic runner, and after the Olympics became a bombardier in World War II. His plane was shot down, and he and two other men on the plane with him were lost at sea for 47 days. At the end of that 47 days, they were captured by the Japanese and put in a camp in which Louis in particular was singled out and tortured unmercifully by one particular guard. This went on for 2 years before he was freed. He came home broken and very bitter, highly resentful for everything that had happened to him. And then one day, he had an encounter with God, and he completely converted and turned his life around. He stopped drinking, became sober, and began to tell his story. He would go on to impress upon hundreds of thousands of people who heard his story and realized how important it was to practice the virtue of fortitude. He would go on to admit that he couldn't have done any of it without God. He would go back to Japan and return and actually sat down face to face with some of the guards who had imprisoned and tortured him. And he forgave them. Louis is a perfect example of not only practicing the virtue of fortitude, practicing the virtue of humility, practicing the virtue of temperance. Most of all, he showed us all what it means to not only love God, but embrace his teachings and forgive his enemies. You and I are called to live our lives at a level that high, practicing the virtue of fortitude when the road in life gets rough, practicing the virtue of humility when we feel as though there's no need, practicing the virtue of forgiveness, especially when it's most hard to do so. You and I have to make a choice in life. We can give up, we can give in, or we can move on, trust God, and hold ourselves to a higher standard. What are you willing to do, and how are you willing to practice the virtue of fortitude? Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you like our divine moment, please like, subscribe, and share. Until we meet again, may the peace of Christ be with you today and always.